All of us know the story of Noah's Ark. After Adam's fall, evil flourished. God decided to make a new beginning. To Noah he revealed the coming of a great flood and commanded him to build an ark to save his family and the animals. And so in faith Noah built his ark. In time the animals came, and so did the rain. For 40 days and 40 nights it rained. The entire earth was flooded. But the ark survived, and when in time a dove returned with an olive branch, Noah knew that the water was subsiding. His family and the animals had been saved. To all who survived, God promised that he would never send a second flood. All of us know this story, but few know the story of a second ark. In 1946, on the Bikini Atoll in the Pacific Ocean, more than 4,000 animals were loaded onto a ship. They were shaved, tagged, and tethered on deck. Then, in the interest of radiation research, they were left to bear the full fury of an atomic explosion. The ship was called the Atomic Ark. Unlike Noah's precious cargo, the animals on board the Atomic Ark were not there to be saved. Animals are used in science for many reasons, not just atomic tests. Perhaps as many as 3 animals are killed in laboratories every second, just in America. Perhaps twice that number worldwide. The catalog of their use is not pretty. No sensitive person will find it easy to look at their pain. And yet, when it comes to the use of animals in laboratories, we must not turn aside, we must look inside. These cats, with their eyes sewn shut, are being used in behavioral studies. Suffering an induced seizure, this monkey is the subject in test for anti-epileptic drugs. These piglets have had their spinal cords intentionally damaged in order to investigate traumatic spinal injuries. This monkey has had his head injured in a study of brain trauma. Vision research is the reason for this puppy's missing eye. What we have just glimpsed is not exceptional. Every day thousands of animals are burned, drowned, suffocated, starved, dehydrated, used in educational settings, in instructional labs in our schools, and in practice surgery. Sometimes animals are used in pursuit of medical knowledge. More often they are used in non-medical context. People throughout the world are beginning to question the scientific and ethical validity of using animals in science, of keeping intelligent social creatures in restraining chairs for months at a time. One way animals suffer is in the Drey's test. A liquefied substance, such as oven cleaner or paint stripper, is placed in the eye of albino rabbits. The degree of damage is measured at various intervals. Blindness may result. Anesthetics are not used. Rabbits sometimes break their back in their futile attempts to escape the searing pain. The Drey's and other painful tests routinely are done in the course of developing most household products and cosmetics. Yet there already are safe items for the home and attractive cosmetics that have not been tested on animals.
I want you to understand that every time you pick up an innocent-looking tube of toothpaste, or the dandruff shampoo in your shower, the liquid bleach in your laundry, the powder you scrub your stove with, oven cleaner, hairspray, lipstick, floor polish, room deodorizers, dishwashing detergents. All these are results of testing on the eyes of rabbits. Speaking of the pain and suffering of living things, the Drey's test is among the most horrendous product testing devices ever brought upon the market.
Many millions of animals are used in psychological research. This cat, for example, is being used in an experiment that permits her to drink milk only if she will accept a painful shock at the same time. Critics of the use of animals in science call for the development of alternatives, not for the abandonment of the scientific enterprise. They point to examples such as Resuscidog, a lifelike model that enables students to learn how to revive a dog who has had a heart attack. Only a few years ago, dogs were given a heart attack in order that students might learn how to resuscitate them. Thanks to the development of Resuscidog, this normally fatal procedure is today altogether unnecessary. Cell and tissue culture techniques also hold great promise. One test, the Ames test, already has proven to be a quicker, cheaper means of screening for possible carcinogens than animal tests. And pioneering work in this area promises to replace the Drey's test. Even the computer offers great hope. One program, called Operation Frog, enables students to dissect a frog on a screen, not a once-living organism. Technology is making the use of animals obsolete in educational contexts. Few of us hunt for food, but most of us do eat animals, and that too may be a cause for honest religious concern. For most of us, our image of a farm is the image of our childhood. We all remember the pictures in the books. So do today's children. Listen to their voices as they imagine what a farm is like.
There will be chickens running round in the farmyard, pecking at the ground, searching for food. Sometimes they flap their wings and roll in the dust. The hen would be looking after the chicks if she had any.
Young pigs would be running about in the fields or being fed by their mother.
In the past, most farms were as these children imagine them. Cows grazed in the pasture. Birds scurried about the farmyard. Hogs cooled themselves in the mud. Together with their human caretakers, they formed a balanced, harmonious system of life. Some farms, though very few, remain this way. Most farms today are rather different. Today's poultry industry has moved indoors into mechanized plants called factory farms. In this battery hen operation, food is delivered mechanically. Eggs are collected and sorted automatically. As many as 7 or 8 hens may stand in a wire mesh cage of 18 by 24 inches for as long as a year. There is no daylight. There is no nesting. No fresh air. There is no room even to stretch their wings. The eggs in our supermarkets come from farms like this one. Hog farming, too, has changed. These are the sows. They live out their pregnancy in individual stalls. Unable to turn around or root the ground, they gnaw on the iron bars for hours at a time. There is no fresh air, no sunlight. They live in these conditions for up to 5 years, except when they're giving birth. Then they are moved to the farrowing stall where the piglets nurse. The sow still is unable to turn around. After a few weeks, she is returned to her former stall, there to await a new pregnancy. As for the piglets, they are raised to their maturity in small pens. Crowded together, they may see the sunlight and breathe fresh air only once a day, when they are fed. Even dairy cattle are being taken off the land. In the United States, over 50% of these animals are raised permanently indoors. As a result of genetic engineering, some dairy cattle must be milked 3 times a day. The weight of the milk and the unnatural flooring takes its toll on the cow's joints, swollen and tender ankles, knees, hips. As for the male calves born on a dairy farm, they normally are taken from their mothers at birth and raised in isolation, in semi-darkness, in individual stalls too narrow for them to turn around in. Their diet is deficient in iron. They are raised in a chronically anemic condition. These animals become the veal we buy, and people prefer pale veal the flesh of an anemic animal. In response to criticism, scientists increasingly are looking for animals to replace dogs in the lab. Pigs are the preferred model, the new choice as the least of these. This is a change many people will not view as progress.
Asking the right questions is the first step in arriving at the right answers. Whatever we might think of our duties regarding animals, whether we think we should not eat, hunt, trap, or otherwise harm them, or whether we think we may do so, whatever the right answers, these are the right questions. For like Noah, we must take responsibility for the fate of animals, especially when their fate is sealed by our decisions. In some ways, we are all Noah.